When Banjo-Tooie came to Switch, I made a quick video on how to enjoy your time with it, and I figured I'd do the same now that DK64 is coming to Switch, since DK64 is similarly a game that you kind of need to go into with the correct mindset in order to enjoy yourself. So my first piece of advice is kind of just not to bother getting everything in the game if this is your first time playing it. You only need about half of all the collectibles in order to beat the game, so don't push yourself. If you're starting to find it tedious to try to get everything, just don't bother getting everything. You only need 100 out of 201 golden bananas to beat the game, as well as 15 out of 40 banana medals, 4 out of 10 battle crowns, and the rare and Nintendo coins. You should also prioritize getting blueprints, as they help you in the final area, but there's no strict number requirement for them. Although they do also award you with very easy golden bananas, so they're definitely a good thing to prioritize. If you do want to get everything in the game though, it's also worth noting that the colored bananas themselves do not count towards the in-game percentage tracker, only the banana medals that you're rewarded for getting them. Banana medals are given to you for 75 colored bananas per Kong per world, of which there's always 100, so you don't need those last 25. You can always stop at 75 unless you need more for the boss. You will need 400 colored bananas for the boss in the final world, but before that, 75 of each Kong will always be enough. Beyond that, the take barrel system should be addressed here. I'm sure you've probably heard that, you only get to swap Kongs when you find a take barrel, and people tend to find that annoying, but it's really only going to bother you if you let it bother you. If you're just trying to beat the game and not 101% complete it, then you'll probably be fine only grabbing what's near a take barrel anyways. The world design is made up of hallways that connect different hubs, and there's normally take barrels in each of the hubs where most of the items can be found. The hallways you really only have to clear out completely if you're going for 101%, in which case my advice to you is to make notes of what you see in the hallways and save going back to them for later, instead of immediately turning around to go back to the hallway upon finding a take barrel. The game does a pretty good job of matching the number of Kongs with items in a hallway with the number of times you'll have to go through it anyways, not counting the ability to just fast travel and avoid having to go back into it. For example, World 2 Angry Aztec is 2 hubs separated by a hallway, and the hallway in the middle has items for every Kong, but playing through the level will also just mean you will have to go back and forth between those 2 hubs a couple times, so it's less of a chore to clear out that hallway if you just go through it once every time you need to be on the other side, instead of just going back and forth through it 5 times all at once. And while I recommend for you not to bother with 101%, if you are going to do that, it's worth noting that most of the time you can fully clear a world on your first visit. Most of the time. The 2 exceptions are, 1, you will not have all 5 Kongs until the 3rd world, so you will have to backtrack with the new Kongs to get their items from the worlds before you got them. Although you will be able to completely get all of the items of the Kongs that you currently have in those first 2 worlds. For example, in World 1, you will have Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and you will be able to get every single Donkey Kong item and every single Diddy Kong item in that first trip. And then when you come back with the Kongs from later, you can just immediately come back with them upon getting them. You don't have to get moves from beyond World 3. I do recommend only going back to World 1 after you've done World 3 though. There's not really much point in going back to it after World 2 and then having to go back again after World 3. Just do it all in one trip, it saves you time. The second exception for when you'll not be able to fully clear a world on the first trip is World 5, in which Lanky Kong has a single golden banana that needs a move from World 6. Without saying too much, I will say it's a race that Lanky Kong has to do, and he needs something that will make him run faster. Aside from those 2 exceptions, you will always be able to fully clear a world the first time you visit it. You'll never have to backtrack to it. Donkey Kong 64 is a complicated game. It's certainly one of those games where you'll only love it if you go into it with the right mindset. You gotta be patient with it and willing to work with the take barrel system. If you go into it having already decided you don't like a take barrel system or that it has too many collectibles, you're not gonna have a good time, because confirmation bias is a hell of a drug. You have to be willing to work with the game and meet it halfway in order to have a good time. I hope everybody enjoys their time with DK64. It's a special game to me, and I hope it gains new fans with the Switch release. There's a lot to love about it, as long as you don't let its bad reputation precede it for you.